Hello everyone, Kent Bressler here. I want to welcome you to Kent's Kidney Stories. During our time together over these podcasts, I'd like to discuss kidney disease. I'd like to tell you about my journey as a transplant patient, but also talk about dialysis, kidney donation, and just about anything else that might be of interest. Kent's Kidney Stories, podcast endorsed and sponsored by kidneysolutions.org. Hello everyone, this is Kent Bressler from Kidney Solutions, and we're going to do some podcasting. Been a little while since I've been on, but had a nice vacation, and I'm ready to roll. We got some people out there that are looking for donors, number one. But number two, we're going to ask the Lord to help us in our searches and just in our daily routine. So let's pray. Dear God, we place our worries in your hands. We place our sick under your care and humbly ask that you restore your servants to health again. Above all, grant us the grace to acknowledge your will and know that whatever you do for the love of us. We ask that you look upon Ryan Bowman's attempt to find a kidney donor. We know that you'll send that donor. It's not a matter of us finding them, but we know that you will send them and send them soon. So we ask all of this in your holy name. Amen. So just a couple of items of interest for you just to contemplate. March 1st through 2nd is the NKF Summit in Washington, D.C., where we get to go up on the Hill and talk to our representatives and senators about legislation that's very pertinent and important to the kidney world. Guess that pretty much covers that issue. On April 23rd to the 25th, is the NephCure Summit in San Diego. If you're not familiar with NephCure, it's an organization that is profoundly involved with nephrotic syndrome patients and originally just FSGS, but it encompasses a large range of folks out there that have nephrotic syndrome, specifically rare disease. Nice organization. They put a lot of effort into what they do, and we're really proud to be part of that, Kidney Solutions with NephCure. So it's really a great idea to sign up and become an advocate or a member of many organizations for kidney patients. There are many in the sphere. For example, American Association of Kidney Patients, AAKP, National Kidney Foundation, American Kidney Fund. And that's just to name a few. But what's interesting about this, they're free. You can join just by going to their individual websites and signing up. Then I want to remind you that if you're interested in joining our support group at Kidney Solutions, you need to go to kidneysolutions.org, O-R-G, and register for our Monday night support group. It's always via Zoom, and it's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we need your email address. So go to kidneysolutions.org and sign up. And also, for those interested, Kidney Solutions will be having a live walk in Kerrville at Schreiner University on April 1st. And if you want to join, you can go to kidneysolutions.org and do a virtual walk with us. It's a fundraising event. It goes, all the proceeds will go to helping patients and helping us administer the many things that we do at Kidney Solutions. So now to the hardcore fact that we have a guest today. So it's my pleasure to interview Ryan Bowman from Pueblo, Colorado. Ryan is searching for a living donor. His story is so common as he approaches all the hurdles that are encountered in this big search. So anyone interested in being a living donor should contact Kidney Solutions at 830-285-2140. And Shannon Mulroy, our living donor advocate, can work with you in order to help you figure out how to do a kidney donation. You're saving a life here, and that's the understatement of the year. But it's also very important to realize that if you do this, someone's going to live and live a long time without the perils of dialysis. So think about it, pray about it, give us a call. Shannon will be happy to talk to you, as will I. And that's Kidney Solutions, 830-285-2140. So, Ryan, welcome to Kent's Kidney Stories. How are you this morning?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm doing okay, considering just coming out of dialysis this morning.
So you did dialysis. How's that make you feel afterwards?
I'm usually pretty tired, usually pretty wore out. I'm doing much better now. Actually, it's almost my 1 year anniversary. This coming Tuesday will be 1 year. So.
And you're in center?
I'm in center. Yep.
Okay.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Have you met some real interesting people there?
I have. I've met several.
Yeah.
Several, and most of them are older than I am, and it breaks my heart seeing those older people going there. I know they're fighters and they're fighting for their lives, and proud of them all. Just with them on their journeys as well.
How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 49 years old.
That's young.
Yeah.
Have you had a transplant before?
I have not.
Okay, so this is your first rodeo.
It is. It's been quite a rodeo so far.
Sure. Let me ask you this. I know your story, and I want the community to know it, our kidney community. I understand you take care of your mother. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm an only child, and my mother lives with me, and she's legally blind, almost completely blind now, and she has a lot of other chronic health issues. But yes, I'm her primary caregiver right now. So that even complicates my struggles even more with what I'm going through.
Well, it makes it really it's not a journey, it's a real fight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So what have you done to try to find a kidney donor?
Well, like I said, it's been almost 1 year, and I got started. I've done a lot of research on the internet. That's how it started. I just Googled stuff and looked for ideas and ways. And actually, it started when I met with the transplant team at a Centura Transplant, Porter Hospital in Denver, and they gave me some ideas on how to get on social media and look for things. And I went to the National Kidney Registry and got signed up there, and got a website going, and I got a coach, and just from there I've been on all social media that I can, Facebook, Twitter, just getting the word out and doing the best I can. I don't have a very close family. We're pretty dysfunctional, but I do have a few family members that have tried to help as much as they can. But I haven't had anybody in my family that's been able to help too much, like as far as a donation or even the caregiver part. But that's what I've done so far.
So what's the name of the hospital again? Centurion?
Centura Transplant, Porter Adventist Hospital, Denver, Colorado.
If anybody, as soon as somebody decides that they're willing to donate, if they'll just give Kidney Solutions a call, 830-285-2140, we'll give you all the information you need. We have it in our database, and we'll be more than happy to guide you towards being a donor for Ryan. So that's a good thing. So generally, how is your health right now, Ryan?
I'm in pretty good shape, other than my kidneys are failed, and I've gone through most of the initial testing for the transplant. I'm not on the active list yet. I have one more. I have to get a colonoscopy, and I'm going for a doctor's appointment on Monday to meet with the gastroenterologist, and hopefully they can get that scheduled soon. That's like my last hurdle to get for the hospital to consider me for the list. But other than that, I'm pretty healthy. Everything else is checked out pretty well.
Good, because that's an important thing. Not to get on the list so much, but to know that when you're on the list, you may be able to get a deceased donor. It takes a long time, but we're really looking for a living donor here.
Yes.
For anybody who's listening, please, consider this. There's so many people out there that need, donors. But in Ryan's case, if you're in the area or you would like to, he's with NKR, they can work a lot of things out as far as joint travel and stuff like that. And we encourage you to give us a call, and we'll put you in touch with them. So, all in all, have you had anybody that you know of that's tested for
Not that I know of, no.
you? Okay. And so
No.
that's been a long time. Are you frustrated?
Very much so, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I wasn't, but yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's kind of like in our DNA.
Yeah.
People don't. They always say, "Well, don't worry about it." And I don't know of anybody who doesn't worry. Tell me, especially when they're facing a life-threatening situation like we have, with
Yeah.
kidney disease, right?
Yes.
Do you do you think in your mind, in your prayers and stuff like that, that your background can help you find a donor? Do what was it that you did in life when you were working?
I worked at Estes Industries, Estes Rockets, the model rocket factory here in Colorado, and it's located in Penrose. They call it the model rocket factory of the world. I started there in 1996. I worked there for up until October 26th of 2022 is when I got to my breaking point, and I had to end up quitting. I ended up quitting, but I'd been there 26 years, and I started, from the ground and on the assembly line, went into the warehouse, and I was a quality assurance coordinator, and I was doing that, and it was a very active job. I mean, constantly moving around, checking things. I had a commercial driver's license, and I delivered the model rocket motors. I had black powder in them. I did that for many, many years. So I had a CDL, so I had to get physicals every 1 to 2 years. And I always checked out great. So I just never thought there was anything wrong with me, and then this happened so quick, all a year ago. I'd been feeling sick probably, I'd say about August of 2022. And it went on for a couple months. And like I said, in October, I just got to where I was so swollen. My feet were swollen. I was throwing up. I just didn't feel good. I couldn't eat. And so then I quit my job, and I had about 6 weeks worth of vacation. And I lived off that for about 2 months. And it got to be Christmas time, just horrible, throwing up, swollen hands, couldn't move my hands. Felt like I had like arthritis or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yes.
got to be the end of the year, got to be about New Year's Eve, and my mom had a good friend that came over, just to say hi and chat and drop off some things. And she said, "Man, you look horrible. You need to get to the hospital immediately. You look terrible. You look like you're dying." And something just hit me. The Holy Spirit hit me and said, "You're sick. You need to go get help." Because I never went to doctors up until that point. I always thought I was healthy. I hated doctors. I didn't go to checkups. I didn't get, blood pressure checks other than like my physicals. I always avoided doctors, and now I regret it, obviously. But anyway, so on New Year's Eve, I went to the local hospital, went to the emergency room, checked in, and I weighed 120 pounds. Normally, I weighed about a 160, 165. So I lost about 45 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
They checked me in, and did the blood and checked everything. And about, I don't know, a couple hours later, I had the nephrology team standing over me telling me my kidneys were failing and I was in bad shape, and I was going to be admitted and be in the hospital for a while. And so I was in there for almost the whole month of January of 2023. And, or 22, yeah, excuse me. No,
Thanks, Mom.
2023. No, 2023. Yeah. No, 2022. You're right.
22. Yeah.
Yes. It's it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022. And
I'm glad to have Mom as your backup. She's got your
right,
back.
yeah, it does.
Okay, so then they put you on dialysis right away. Put a central
Um,
line into dialysis.
no, not right away.
Okay.
I was in the hospital for about 10 days. I tested positive for COVID.
Mm,
They locked me in there for about 10 days in isolation and kept running the tests and everything. They put me on prednisone and Lasix for, for the swelling and
sure.
everything. And so then they released me, and they were going to set me up with a nephrologist and my PCP right away. So I went home for about 4 or 5 days. Just was worse, was horrible. Still didn't feel good. High blood pressure, swelling, couldn't hardly move. So I went back again to the ER. They admitted me again. Went through the same kind of routine, and it was, I wasn't any better. So finally, the one of the nephrologists came in and said, "I think we're going to do a kidney biopsy." So
Hmm.
they ended up doing that, and came back and said, we got bad news. You're got a lot of inflammation. And your kidneys are bad. You're failing. You're going to need to probably do dialysis pretty soon. But we're going to try high doses of prednisone and see how you do.
Right.
I'll probably
Did
till
they
the end.
give you a diagnosis, Ryan? Did they say what it was?
I was
Just
getting,
inflammation, or did they give it a firm name like FSGS?
yep, I have Wagner's granulomatosis.
There you go. Okay.
And
Yep.
so I got out probably about the end of January, again from the hospital. And of course, they set me up again with a nephrologist and PCP. So I went into my PCP probably about a week later, and I was still swollen, and I was, having a walker and a cane, and I could barely just get around. And he said, "Well, I'm looking over your results and your lab work, and I'm going to call the nephrologist and talk with him." And I guess while I was in the office, my cousin's wife took me to this appointment. She was with me in the office, and I guess he got on the phone with the nephrologist. And he said, "You need to go over there right now. He wants you over there in his office right now." So my cousin's wife looked at me, and I looked at her, and I was like, "Okay." So we drove right over there, and I went in, and he said, "Your kidneys are bad, very bad, and you need to start dialysis ASAP. We're going to get you a catheter in and try to get you set up for a fistula." And I didn't know what any of this stuff
Yeah,
was. I
right.
was blown away by dialysis and fistulas and catheters, and I was just like
What?
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So February, 1 year to the day, February 11th, I went into the hospital and got my neck catheter, or chest catheter,
Yeah.
and started dialysis on that Tuesday. I think it was like the 15th or the 14th, Valentine's Day. And, started dialysis, and it was blew me away for the first couple of times. I was just so sick, so swollen. I had to get in a wheelchair eventually because I just couldn't even, my legs were gone. My muscles were so wore out from being in the hospital for a month, being so sick. Um, and to backtrack a little bit, at that point, I was living in an apartment with my mom. That New Year's Eve when I got sick, right before then, she had fell going to the bathroom, and she was hurting herself. And so after they had put me in the hospital, her friend had come by and took her to the hospital, and she had a fractured back, and she was in the
Oh
hospital for
no.
about a week. She
Hmm.
was in there for about a week in the same hospital. And then when she was ready to leave, they put her in rehab, so they put her in a nursing home. And she was in a nursing home for about January and February of 22 by herself. And when I got out of the hospital, I went to stay with my father for a few days. And then his house was just not very accommodating for me. Had a lot of stairs, and
Oh
I just
yeah.
couldn't.
Difficult. Yeah.
So my cousin and his wife invited me into their small home. It was just a one level home. So I went and stayed with them for a while, and they both worked and got up and went to work every day and left me there alone. And I was
Oh
falling in the
no.
bathroom, couldn't get up. And so they were just nervous about it, and they didn't want me, they didn't think they could give me the care I needed. So I ended up going into a nursing home in the end of February of 22. And I was there for about 7 months till the end of September. And I was in a wheelchair, and I was still going to dialysis, but
Tough.
it was a
A
tough,
tough grind.
tough grind. And then the end of September, I found a little studio apartment for me and my mom. And so that's where we're at now. But anyway,
Right. Excuse me. Go ahead.
I got the catheter, and I started, dialysis. And he said, "Well, I want you to get a fistula." So about, I don't know, month, probably about March, the first week of March, I went to the vascular surgeon. They did all the mapping and all that stuff, and chose my my lower left forearm. And I had that surgery probably like about 2 weeks later. Tried to put a fistula in, and I had the surgery, and came out okay. And I went back to the nursing home. That next day, I was swollen. I had no feeling in my fingers. I was numb. I was tingly. It
Steele
hurt.
syndrome. Hmm.
I had Steele syndrome.
Hmm.
So they sent me to the hospital again. Went into the hospital, and they, you know, ran some tests and stayed overnight. Stayed a couple of days. The vascular surgeon came in. The hospital doctor came in, and he said, "Yeah, I think you might have Steele syndrome." My three fingers were numb, cold,
No.
tingly. Couldn't move them. So
Hmm.
we went about a week, and they kept observing it, and kept getting, it wasn't any better. So he said, "You know what? think we'll do a ligation and see if we can save your fingers maybe. So about a week later, I had another surgery and they undid it, cut me again. And that was like in March, second week of March. And here I am, almost a year later, and my fingers are still numb, cold.
Yeah.
I have most of the movement back, but I probably will never get the full of what I had.
It's got to keep working it. Just try to keep working it, and we need to get you transplanted, right?
Right. So that was another complication I've had, and I still have it to this day. And of course, the dialysis center and the nurses, they're pressuring me to get one. They want me to get one on my right side now, and I'm just been really hesitant because I'm scared it's going to happen again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't want to lose my other hand. So that's where I'm at now. I'm on my second catheter. My first catheter ended up clotting up pretty good in about November of 22. And so they put it in the second one. I'm on the second one now.
Hmm.
So it's been quite the journey in just a year.
Well, it's like I said, it's more than a journey for you, right? It doesn't make you unique, but that it's very important for people out there to realize that this is not a cakewalk. This is horrible. In most respects, it's very difficult. And then on top of it, being a caregiver yourself. So I think we focus on the idea here that we need a kidney donor. And, here we've done some things like, getting your flyers out and stuff, and you're with NKR, and just want to encourage people to think about being a donor. If you're in the area, and like I said, if you're just interested, give us a call at Kidney Solutions. It's a very important thing to do. If you feel the need to ask questions, we have answers. Feel free to give us a call, 830-285-2140. And we can answer a lot of the questions you might have about living donor donation. It's relatively common nowadays, but there are not enough people that are out there doing it. We would like to really educate people to the point that they understand that this is not a life-threatening thing to you as a donor. Matter of fact, my brother's has had one kidney. I had his other for 35 years. We have friends that have been very fortunate and blessed in being able to go well over 25 years with the kidney donated. So if you have the feel for Ryan here as I do, I think you ought to really pray about it and give us a call and let us help you find a way to donate. This gentleman is, he's got a lot of things to do, and he's got a lot of life ahead of him. So, give it a thought and give us a call. The call could mean a whole lot to all of us, not only to Ryan, but to you as a donor. Donors are special people, and there are not enough of them. So join the crowd and give us a call. Okay, Ryan, this story it tugs at my heartstrings. Been working a long time with a lot of kidney patients. But I'm telling you what, you've got a road that's been very harrowing. I want to make sure that you get a chance here to reach out to the community that you're talking to and ask them anything that you want, or at least let them know how you feel. Why don't you kind of just let them know before we end the session?
Just I'm very religious, and of course I believe in God so much, and I just know that if He's willing to, for me to continue this life that I have and the role that I have, I know that He'll have an angel donor out there for me somewhere, and I just pray that it'll touch somebody's heart, that they'd be willing to give me that chance to get my health and my strength back, so I can continue to take care of my mom and get back to the things I enjoy doing. Getting back to work and being active, and more than I am now. I just pray for everyone out there that's going through this, and I lift up anyone that's, looking for kidneys, donors out there that are looking to donate. I'm grateful for each and every one of you, and just pray that we can all work together in this, the community of people that have this disease.
Link it up. That's what we need. We need just.
I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that I found you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we're gonna. You know what? We're gonna stay with you. We're not donor hunters. What we are is a mentor group. We're gonna stay with you even after you have your transplant, because it's coming. All right.
Yes,
we believe that. You believe that. So He'll send that special person is going to roll into your life here shortly. But maintain your you just have a great attitude. You may not feel well, and I know you don't, because we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
You can walk down the street and people look at you. They've got no clue that you have kidney disease, but you know, don't you?
Yes.
All right. And so that's for people to understand. They'll never understand it unless they go through it. But we're not begging here. We're praying that someone will step forward and give Ryan a chance at life. So give us a call at Kidney Solutions, 830-285-2140, and we'll get the ball rolling. We'll help you, and we'll stay with you for a long time too, for as long as you'll have us. So Ryan, anything else?
No, I think that's sums it up for me.
Yep. And I heard your mom in the background. Tell her hello for us and
Hello.
tell her to stick with it.
Yep, she is.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
I pray to everyone out there, like Ryan said. I pray for all others, but I mostly pray for my son. To please reach out to him if you can. And thank you, Kent. God bless you.
Oh, listen, you don't know what a joy it is to work with people like you. It's a common thing. I want the best for both of you. All right. And we're going to work to do that. We have no guarantees, but God's in this picture. So let's let him do his magic things. And he'll send someone. We know that. It'll work out very well for all of us. And we believe that, and we're praying in that way. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So let me say goodbye to my folks here. And remember, if you're interested in donating a kidney or a liver or whatever, give us a call at 830-285-2140 and let us discuss it with you. Let us help you with it. Folks like Ryan need as much help as they can get. They're taking care of themselves and others, but I can tell you what, stepping up and being a donor, it will change your life. So until we have another podcast, I want everybody just to keep breathing.